Good morning to you. The sun has just risen above the horizon, and I have made it to the wash where everything is nice and chill. And I want to take this opportunity to talk about flow. This flow is in the mental state of flow when you're basically just completely engrossed in something, and you just find that it just comes natural to go step by step by step by step, and you're not in your head kind of getting distracted and thinking about anything else. It's an effortless state of progress. And so I was thinking about it last night. Somebody mentioned flow in a video, and I was like, I would really love to understand how we could induce more flow states in our lives. Like, I get them sometimes, and it is amazing because usually it takes a great deal of effort to be like, I'm going to be working on a project or whatever it may be, and I'm in my head thinking, am I doing this right? Is this any good? Yada, yada, yada. But then sometimes I get in that state of flow, and I just don't care. I just, everything fades into the background, and I just become excited to work on something for its own sake, and it's almost effortless. And so, yeah, I wanted to talk about this state a little bit, and how, I don't know, what are the characteristics of it, and what could we do to try to increase the frequency of flow events. So let's see. Step one, the reason I waited till I got into the wash here to begin this conversation. Prior to that, I was hiking up and over mountains over there, and doing that takes me out of that kind of mental focus that you require. It's the same with driving in traffic versus just driving on an open road. Yeah, it is possible for me to go through traffic or even go through something like this in a flow state, but I have to it has to be a super strong one. So I think that kind of indicates to me that state of flow is it's not just one thing. You can have degrees of it. You can have stronger ones and weaker ones. So how do we, the stronger the better then, right? Because if I can drive through traffic, and basically sometimes it'll be thinking about something important, something I care about, and just all the traffic doesn't matter. All of the stoplights and stop signs and just people being people on the road kind of just fades into insignificance, and I'm able to just zone out, and I don't care if it's going to take me a few more minutes to get home. That doesn't even cross my mind. I'm just so focused on whatever I'm thinking about, and still driving. I'm still focused on the road, I guess, but I'm not engrossed with the road. Oh, my arm is getting sore. I need a selfie stick. So one thing that I've started to do in the last year or two is this process where when I work on a project or something, I basically get into it and I'm like, all right, the plan is just to touch it. I'm not I have to get in I make all of this progress or whatever. Like now, all I care about is getting into a project and being like, I'm gonna just pick up where I left off and spend, you know, I guess it is a requirement to at least spend like a minute there, but there's not a requirement to be like, I have to make progress or something. Let's go to this side. So by doing this and not putting like a big requirement on the progress that I make and focusing instead on just, I don't know, it's the idea of just being like, I'm going to expose my brain to this project, and if I feel like it, then I will dive in. Like if I find myself just being like, oh, I know what to do, I know what I need to change here or what to do next, then it kind of just happens naturally. It feels great, and it means that in the future when I go back to the project, I feel like I have a much better relationship with like doing things, because I'm not like I have to just get in there and just trudge away, grind away. Can't see shit. Heard something up there. It's just a bird. Sit down. I hope. That's beautiful looking. Look at the amazing sunrise. Okay. So yeah, it's just a great way for me, and you should try it too, to like, I'm getting into a project and I know I'm not gonna make it like painful. And so then the process, like the thought of getting into a project gets nicer and nicer. It stops feeling like it's painful to do, like, to actually make progress or to get into it. And that's just like a huge step, right? You know how many of your projects and things that you want to accomplish in life, you just have this sense of dread, like, oh, I hate doing it. And I think that comes a lot from how we condition ourselves while we're doing it. Like if you want to go running, which is a good example for me, I used to, for like my running goals, think like, oh, I'm just gonna go out, I'm gonna run 2 miles as hard as I can, and then that's it. And that was just, yeah, I mean, it worked, and I was able to do it, but it's like I would dread it. It would be like, oh, it's a running day, I hate it. I gotta go out and just put it all out on the field, and it just kills my brain, kills my motivation to want to do it. Versus how I've been training the last year, which is a lot more easy runs, a lot more chill stuff, and then being like, honestly holding back so much to the point where I'm like, no, I want to actually go out and see how fast I can run, and then be like, okay, if you're sure you want to do that, then we can do that. And kind of just deciding like, am I gonna go all out, maybe even 90%, what exactly is the goal here for today? But like waiting until I really want to do it, and then knowing that that's just a one-time thing, and it's like, this isn't the new normal of how I'm gonna train. And I think it's the same with like any project, being like, it's not a, like, I'm gonna get into my project, I'm just gonna just try to accomplish as much as I can. Like if you're writing a book or something, being like, I just have to write all day and just blah blah, then I don't know, especially with like a creative project like a book, it's really hard to maintain a good feeling of creativity and positivity in yourself if you're dreading your writing experience. So anyway, I wouldn't say that necessarily puts me in a state of flow, but it allows the state of flow to happen spontaneously, which I think, like if I were to talk about it like philosophically, like basically neurologically what it is. I mean,
Up to 4410.
Oh, 4410. That was a slow mile climbing over the mountains back behind me. Anyway, what was I saying? Flow, state of flow. Yeah, I see he's getting completely interrupted here. I do feel like I've been on a pretty good thing, but like in our brains, I think we have like a good, like, I don't know, our sense of self, our consciousness, our executive functions that tell us, or that we are, I guess we often identify as that voice in our head that sits around and is anxious and is like, yeah, just constantly like, oh, what should I do next? Am I doing things right? That little voice, which is us, like, if our brain is just preoccupied with doing something, then that voice kind of goes away. And so, I mean, I think I was realizing last night when I was thinking about this a little bit that I probably am in a state of flow a lot, actually, but just for things that aren't that interesting or important to me. You know, if you're just like blah, then sometimes it's just like, oh wow, all this time went by and I thought about nothing. Yeah. So, I don't know, it's interesting to think about. It's like a flow state is when you're not like recursively thinking through your executive function list, like your default mode network in your head, where you're like, am I doing the right thing right now or am I not? And yeah, so it's like you spontaneously encounter an environment where you know exactly what to do, and your brain is just like, takes one step, and upon completion it knows exactly what to do for the next step. It's like in a Turing machine. If it's like, okay, shift the tape over, erase this digit, and then you know exactly the next step after that. You don't have to be like, spend 10 minutes looking through your instruction list and trying to be like, now which instruction is applicable next? It's just an immediate, like, you know exactly what to do. And that's interesting because it's like, it's not just I just lost it. Flow state just disappeared on me. Let me think for just a second. All right, well, I almost thought of what I was trying to think of, and then I realized it wasn't even that important anyway. Instead, it may be a good anecdote, just a real life moment here of being like, no, flow state's broken. I double checked where I was immediately going with that, and it turned out to not be actually super great. Apparently the following Turing step in that was like a little ambiguous and not obvious, and so there goes the flow state. So I don't know, I think it's something that I don't know if we can like induce by like, I mean, I think we can put ourselves into positions where we flow a lot more. Oh yeah, I think maybe that's what I was gonna say. It's like a huge part of it is where our brain is at now. So it's not just like putting ourselves in an environment, like I was saying with like just touching a project just to see if like you get into it and trying to build a good relationship with how you see it. You also need to yourself, when you get to that, be in a pretty good place, I think. If you have other stuff going on in your head, then it's going to be hard to get into any kind of flow state until you address that. So I think that, like, possibly some form of meditation or just therapy or whatever you need to do to kind of address the things in your head that might be holding your brain in a loop that you don't want to be into. Then yeah, making your brain just chill and then exposing yourself to things that like you would be proud if you did them. I think that that's a good first steps and like how to have more flow states, because it is just an amazing feeling when you're just like, I just worked on this for an hour and just was, or like when you're in a flow state, even just like 10 minutes is like so much more productive than even an hour when you're just like forcing yourself. Like you just go, it's like, yeah, it's amazing. Anyway, so in this one we talked about flow states and how to induce them. And yeah, I think really it just comes down to like getting a healthy relationship with the things that you want to flow in, exposing yourself to those things, and also making your brain like making sure that you're in a good place mentally. So if there's anything troubling you or whatever, then trying to address that. And I don't know, that's just a whole problem. We need to make some videos on how to not feel like trash. All right, I'm out.